Alright, g'day. I know I'm getting a little bit, what's the word? Maybe a little bit obsessed, but I've been buying more of this stuff. Because I actually lost one of the lights that were in the car. So I wanted to get something that could replace it, but at the same time I also wanted something that I could put onto my smaller rifle, like the 22 caliber. So I picked this up, and I'm doing this video real quick because I wanted to show this to you before I head out. I'm actually going out there tomorrow, so I want to show you what's inside the box before I head out there and start putting it all together. I'm actually going to start mounting it to the rifle now. So there's the charger. Sorry, this is obviously the Warrior. This is going to have a very directional beam, which is perfect for what I want it for. I mean, like I said, I'm going to mount this on my 22. The 223 that I've got is has a thermal scope on it, so this is going to go onto that. So it's got a little belt clip. I have charged this up, so it's just one button to turn it on and off, and then you've got the little indicator there for the battery on the right hand side, the brightness level on the left, and I think you hold it down to get it to bright. But what's cool about this is also got the button on the back, like the Javelot does, and it has a proximity sensor. So if you do something stupid like put it next to in your pocket and accidentally turn it on, notice how the brightness level changes. See how the brightness is dropping? Even getting close enough to it, just getting close will actually immediately drop the brightness level down. So push it in hard to turn it on, hold it down gently just to give you like a light. See how it's only half, there's only number, like if you have a look at these lights here, it's only going half brightness when you just hold it gently. What makes this one especially useful here is two things. One, it actually fits inside this magnetic mount, so it means if you've got a rifle or a shotgun, this will actually stick to the bottom of the barrel. And then now I'm assuming, because I haven't actually done this yet, I'm assuming this just fits in there. I should probably take that clip off. Does it come off? Ouch, yes it comes on. Princess fingers. Alright, here we go. So that actually attaches like so. Alright, so I can imagine this is going to be pretty difficult when you're out in the field to get it on there. But it seems to be on now. And it's tight, and it looks like there's a bit of a rubber gasket down there underneath the between the light and the mount, which is good, so it's going to stop it from moving around a lot, and this is fairly easy to tighten with your finger. It does have this adjustable wheel, this base magnet here, so that's cool. Alright, that's going to go either on top of or beneath the barrel because that's metal and it does magnet things, which is cool. Alright, and that's it. I'm going to take this out tomorrow. I'm going to do a video there, and you can see there's the proximity sensor. So it's going to get dark in a couple of hours, and I did want to use the 223, but it's very, very windy today, so I'm going to use the little bit larger one. So we're going to just mount it to the base here. I'm just going to see if I can get it to magnet to the barrel. See how we go with that. Got it stuck on. Sticks straight away, didn't have to do anything. Attach the remote for it. I haven't actually screwed it on, but I don't know if you can see it lighting up there. Yeah, you can, just against that tree, and that's daylight, so it's pretty bright. It's good. I think I want to, if I had a cable tie, I'd probably cable tie this here. I am going to use some infrared goggles for spotting tonight. So I'll get all set up, see how we go. Alright, so it's mounted now. I did cable tie it, because I've got some in the car. And I've got some wire cutters, so I managed to cut the tip off the cable tie. It'll also make it easy for me when I want to remove it. I can just cut it without damaging the rifle or the barrel. So let's see how we go. I'm not allowed to go over there because that's not our property. We have to stay on this side of the fence. And I've got to wait for them to come down. That's about, I reckon that's about 500 meters. So I've got to wait for these guys to start moving over here at night. See how we go. Got the Olights ready. Buttons over here, flashlights there. One thing I found is that when I pick it up off my shoulder, I do end up pressing the button by accident sometimes. But that's my fault. I've dodged up the and it's windy. Let's see how we go. Very, very pretty. Very pretty. There's the deer over there on that mountain where I'm pointing the rifle, just waiting for them to come down. And I'm hiding next to this tree. Sun's almost gone. It's probably about half an hour to 40 minutes left, and those boys not really interested in coming over here. I've left my tripod over there just 10 meters away, so I'm waiting for them to come over. Now I'm afraid that my infrared goggles don't reach that far. They're not very good. They're really they're those cheap Anaconda ones, which means I'm gonna have to switch to the 223 running thermal, which means I'm not going to really get to test out the Warrior here, but see how we go. If they do come closer, I might be able to switch over. Just don't want to have to carry two rifles down this mountain. Man, they're just wandering around over there, not really doing anything. Gotta get them on this side of the fence. I've seen them come over at night, so hopefully tonight when it gets dark, they'll feel a bit more comfortable and come on over. So I only managed to get this guy. It was very late in the evening, 7:30. I know it looks pretty bright here, but because daylight saving and, you know, Sydney is special, it actually ended up being pretty late in the evening. I had just taken my thermal rifle out and gone back down the mountain, you know, set up, waiting for it to get dark. Like I mentioned in the video, my infrared goggles weren't that good, so I think what would have been great is if I had a thermal spotter and then have the Warrior on the rifle, which would have worked out a lot cheaper. You know, if I'm new and I'm getting set up, then having a thermal scope fixed to the rifle. I'll show you some video footage of the drive into the property to retrieve this guy. You can see that by the time I got to the car, it was already extremely dark, and so here it is. Alright, I came back out because I want to show, come on, I want to finish showing you guys. Alright, here we go. I already taken care of that deer problem. So this is going to be the Warrior X. That's on low. Wow, it reaches quite far in there, and that's on high. Oh yeah, you can totally spot with this thing. There are a couple of other features that I didn't realize existed on this Warrior 3. So if you press this button 3 times, it'll do that self-defense flashlight mode, like the epilepsy mode as I like to call it. It also has moonlight mode, so if you hold the button down whilst it's off, you'll see that it has a very dim, I think that's 1 lumen. It's very dim. I do use it especially when I'm sleeping in the back of the car or camping in the back of the car. It's good to be able to just have a quick look around and not destroy your eyes. The turbo mode, which is the brightest setting, you can't get to it by holding it down. You'll notice that when you hold it down, it only goes up to 3 to like 75%. To get it to turbo mode, you have to double click and that gets it there. Or you can press the button on the back. So soft is, if you just softly press it, it's at 50%, but if you press it hard, it goes into turbo mode. And as always, because of the proximity sensor, if you wave anything in front of it, it'll drop down in brightness. So I also figured this out. I ordered the wrong remote toggle for this. This one here doesn't work. This is not the right toggle for it. That does nothing. This is the right toggle for it. It's the S rod. There you go. That does work. So I also didn't mention that this has a lock on it. When you push this cover here forward, it prevents it from coming off. And when you pull it off, when you pull it back, then it can come off again, which is cool. So what are my thoughts? I think this is great for smaller rifles, or if you don't want all of the added weight. Comparing it to something like the Javelot, this is 2500 lumens, this is 2300 lumens, and the battery I believe is also a bit bigger, or considerably bigger. This will get up to, well, it claims to get up to 1050 meters, this claims to get up to 300 meters. For where you're shooting, you're not going to be shooting up to 1000 meters. This is great for spotting eyes in the dark at a distance, but this can do the same thing. The Javelot can also have filters on the front, which I use the green one a lot when I want to walk around, especially at night, because most of my hunting is done at night anyway. And this is just, you know, great to just go around with white light. So if you don't care about the filtered light, if you don't care about colored light, this is great. If you also want something that's lightweight, this is great. If you want something that's easily attachable and detachable, using the mount is also preferred for me over the figure 8 clamp that the Javelot uses. But if I want to put it on something like the 22 or even the 223, you know, this is great. I wanted to use, like, you know, you can see earlier, I wanted to use the infrared goggles to find the prey and then turn this on and then take the shot, which I think is what most people would be doing. Like, you know, a lot of people don't necessarily have access to a thermal gear. And this would have worked great, but you know, what I was doing and where I was, it was important that I don't miss, and that I can't let them get away. So I was too worried. I didn't want to take the chance, so I didn't end up using it. I was pleasantly surprised though. I seriously was surprised at how far this thing can reach. I didn't expect it to be so bright and reach so far. You can see all the way through the trees in that last, you know, just before I left, that, you know, I think I was getting up to about 150, 200 meters without even, you know, with all the crap in front of me and just everywhere. So it was great. All right, it's not completely dark yet. It's about 7:30, which is probably 15-20 minutes before darkness. But this is a little path. So I've got the Seeker 3. I just want to show how it's not very helpful. But that does the, see how that's very broad? Doesn't reach all the way down to the end, but you can see that the trees down the end there are still pretty dark. But in terms of like just lighting up a broad area, that's what you get. All right. So next up is the Javelot. So there's Javelot Pro 2. Now on low, if we try to light the path, you can see the light there, and it does light up that reflector down the end there. If I turn it on high, you can see how it lights up the trees all the way down the end. So that you can easily have a big bat signal beam to those trees down the other end of that park there without any issues. All right, and then finally is the Warrior 3S. So that's on low and that's on high there. So it does reach and light up those trees, those branches down the end, but what you can see is that it's broader. The center section there, like that circle where that's lit up, it's actually broader than the Javelot. It's not as focused. So whilst it could be, you know, just as bright practically, it's not as focused. Like I'll show you again, the Javelot's, it's good that the trees are on both sides. You can see just how narrow that focus is. It pointed, you know, goes straight down between the trees there. And then if I do the Seeker again, see, that's it kind of wraps around, or manages to touch the trees on both sides. But in terms of the size, it's brilliant, but that's the practical difference. Just the focus of the beam and the distance that it carries. And also, as I mentioned, the Warrior doesn't have the filters on it. And it gets hot. It's actually really hot. Whereas the Javelot is not hot at all. Not even on the globe. Alright, it's a bit darker now. Here we go again. Javelot Pro 2. Warrior 3S. So you can see again the broadness. Lights up practically this third tree on the left here is touching the beam. Whereas with the Javelot, doesn't start touching the trees till about 10 or 20 trees down. It's very, very centered, very well centered, I should say. Definitely reaches. If you don't care about size and you're happy to go bigger, I also compare it to the Seeker. So what's the difference? This is a very straight directional beam, same with the Javelot. This is quite broad. I think the Seeker's great for just, you know, keeping it in the car, using it around everywhere. I mean, it's also great for finding your prey. So when you take something down, you want to go look after it. You know, I drove my car in to pick it up to see where I found it last time. I did also use it for finding a few rabbits or hares. This is great for a big broad beam. You want to light up a big area. You want to, you know, go around whatever. You want to keep it in the car, keep it in your pocket, carry it every day. This is great. This is bright. You're not going to be using this for like 200-300 meters. This is directional and amazing for hunting. So I guess they're my thoughts. If I had to choose and if I was on a budget, I'd definitely go with the Warrior. I think only because of the fact that it's so small and lightweight and it's a lot cheaper than the others. If budget was no concern, I'd definitely go all three. If it was a bit limited, I'd go these two. I probably wouldn't get the Seeker. I'd just keep that as a Christmas present or something, or an Eid present. But yeah, definitely worth it. One other thing I just read about, you can actually reprogram what this button at the back does. At the moment, softly pressing it is on 50%, pressing it hard goes to 100%. You can reprogram it so that when you push it hard in, it goes to the flashing mode, to the self-defense mode. You do that by holding this down and pressing the button on the side, but have a read of the instruction manual if you're into that. Yeah, look, otherwise it's pretty cool, man. It, again, typical solid build as you expect from these guys. You can also get a little holder for this thing. So there is actually a carrier, a receiver that you can place this into, and you can then just stick that to the rifle, and you can slide this in and out to make it easier to mount it rather than having to use the cable tie like I did. If there's anything you want me to do with these, I'm gonna try to get this one out again in a couple of weeks. I'll be using it on foxes, I hope, and I'll share that video. Yeah, and if there's anything else that you want to see, just leave a comment and I'll try to reach out. All right, guys, hugs and puppies.